Welcome to Bard Tech Talk. I'm Maury Tiernan. Today's topic is electrically troubleshooting the two-stage circuit of a Copeland two-stage compressor. As always, follow good safety practices. Bard has both ACs and heat pumps with their two-stage Copeland compressors in their 2 through 510 units. Troubleshooting the compressor staging is the same method for both and the same for all voltages. Just like any single-stage unit, Y1 energizes the compressor contactor, which is the second-stage compressor's part-load first stage. Y2 energizes the compressor internal solenoid full-load second stage. How to determine if the unit has a two-stage compressor? Look at the unit wiring drawing. Does it show a compressor solenoid? Another indicator is the compressor will have two plugs, the high voltage plug front and center, and the hard to see solenoid plug directly across on the back side of the compressor. You may also contact Gary Pacific Supply with the unit model and serial number to ask if the unit is a two-stage compressor or to request a unit spec sheet. The easiest, fastest way to ensure everything in a two-stage circuit and compressor are functioning correctly is to put your amp clamp on the high voltage black or common wire to the compressor. This may be done at the compressor plug or compressor contactor. Applying 24 volts to G for the indoor blower and to Y1 will energize the compressor contactor after the 5-minute time delay or speed up has been shunt to start the compressor in stage 1. Additionally, apply 24 volts to Y2 will energize the compressor solenoid into second stage, full load. The amperage reading on your meter should increase and decrease by 25% as you energize and de-energize Y2 on current units. The original two-stage units had Y and Y1 terminals. That simple test proves everything in the two-stage compressor circuit is working properly. It takes longer to describe than actually do the test. There is a speed bump to consider. What if the compressor won't run in first stage when Y1 is energized? Is there a defect? Check to see if the unit has an economizer. If the conditions are favorable to use the economizer over the compressor, then the jade will show economizing yes. A quick way to disable the economizer in a large cabinet is to remove the ventilation plug on the side of the low voltage terminal block and install the jumper plug. On a 3-ton cabinet with an economizer hood, the jumper plug may be in with the jade. If not, remove the entire hood and 32 screws to find it behind the middle service door. Now the economizer is de-energized and out of the circuit. Your compressor should energize as previously described. When done, remove the ventilation jumper plug and reinstall the economizer system plug. Back to the troubleshooting. The circuit has a compressor solenoid plug and the compressor has a DC volt solenoid. Both will need to be checked if you don't see the 25% increase-decrease in amperage on your meter. The easiest method to check the solenoid plug is to apply 24 volts AC to the plug wires and test the two plug openings for 15 volt to 27 volt DC with your voltmeter set to DC volts. This is a rectifier plug changing volts AC to volts DC to energize the DC solenoid in the compressor. We will demonstrate this with solenoid plug out of the unit by applying 24 volts AC and verifying the 24 volts DC approx. Now let's look where this solenoid plug is located on the compressor in the unit. We have 24 volts AC energized at Y2. Pulling the plug off the compressor to test takes a long arm and patience. You can fully remove the plug to test, but then you need to reinstall it. Test in the unit if you can. Turn off the unit power. Open the compressor blanket if installed. Remove solenoid plug from the compressor. Bring the plug around the compressor. Turn high voltage back on. Use your meter on DC volts. Did you get 15 to 27 volts DC? If so, your solenoid plug is good. Plug back into the compressor. Make sure it seats fully. Turn the unit power off again. Next, check the solenoid in the compressor. Here's what it looks like with a compressor on the table. Use your meter set to ohms, testing the two pins. They should read 32 to 60 ohms depending on the temperature of the compressor. 32 if colder, 60 if hotter. If you do this with the compressor in the unit, remove the compressor blanket. Having some longer jumpers may make this easier to accomplish. Did you get between 32 and 60 ohms? If the solenoid itself is bad, just unscrew the top of the compressor and replace it. Raise your hand if you bought that. I have swampland. Unfortunately, if the solenoid is bad, change the compressor. Good news, these DC solenoids are very reliable. I haven't experienced a bad one. If the plug and solenoid both test okay, your first amperage increase test should have worked. Turn your power back on. Do the original 25% increase-decrease test to ensure you have all components working when you leave the unit. That's the basics on verifying the Copeland two-stage compressor used by Bard. Hope you find this helpful. See you next time we talk Bard Tech.